Talk Show.
It's the Daily Talk Show, episode 533.
The shop's open.
Mm-hmm.
How are we?
Happy Sunday. Happy December 1.
Been to a bunch first of the month. All that stuff.
Yeah. I did that last time.
Oh, yeah. You're a pinchy guy. That's your vibe.
Yep. December, starting to look at next year, 2020.
Dude, we've put our Christmas lights up.
Really?
Yeah, we went to Bunnings last week and we had a voucher. And here's the thing about vouchers. You always end up spending more. Had a $100 voucher.
You spent 120.
Dropped 140.
140. Wow, $40
but
more.
You know how it is. $40. I got all this stuff.
Yeah,
That's how you justify this shit. Got
all on lights.
No. Plants, hose, some other bits and bobs.
What did you get the hose for?
Watering the garden. Here's the thing. I never have lived in a house that would require a hose. Lived in one house. 2 houses that could have had one, but I didn't even give a shit about the place. This place, bit different now. I need to water my spa.
Could you lose a bond if you don't keep your plants alive?
It depends on what's in the contract. So there's like upkeep and shit.
Can you look that up, 97? So if you have a garden and all the roses die?
Yeah, here's the thing. If you're renting a place that has some luscious garden, you're gonna have to do some upkeep. All the owners are like, here's what. So one of the ladies that we were speaking to about a potential house was telling us that it's actually easier for her to pay the money on her property that she rents out to go and do the gardens to keep it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just Gronks.
Yeah.
Gronks let shit go. And so
definitely.
Ours is very simple. So we got the hose just for something, just for doing bits and pieces, like nothing much. We'll take it with us to our next place. A lot of selection when you're buying hoses, boys. You wouldn't know.
The retractable?
Did you get a retractable?
No, retractable. I don't know how good they are. You can get one.
Very good.
I've got one at home. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but your parents bought it.
Yeah.
So there's a price difference, Josh. I'm talking $20 hoses.
Oh, yeah.
To fucking $250.
Yeah.
And you're like, and everything in between.
One you have for 10 years, one you have for 1 year. 2 years.
One's promising no kinks. Like you can't kink me.
Anti-kink.
You cannot kink me. It's not the kinky kind of stuff that you're thinking, but that's why you're smirking. So we went one and we got the Christmas lights. So it's starting to feel like Christmas. I mean, when we were in LA, you didn't go back there, but I went for a jog down to the Grove.
We saw the Grove with Christmas.
Oh, but
it was a Christmas tree. Yeah.
That was a Christmas tree.
Disappoint.
No, they've done more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think we went to the Grove at a certain point. Like onwards, we didn't go back to it.
It was Christmas stuff.
Christmas, but they still had the Halloween stuff as well. They'd gotten rid of all the Halloween stuff. So that's October. That's November?
November,
Early November.
Yeah.
They're just going hard. But the few houses around our area. We live in an area, actually, it's the suburb next to it, Ivanhoe, which is a couple of way. Famous for Christmas lights.
Very famous.
The Boulevard. The Boulevard.
You basically get in your car and you line up and there's huge, I love it because what do I love?
I don't know, sitting in traffic.
Traffic.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like a summer night or whatever. You have Christmas music going.
You could walk it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I went.
that'd be nice.
So that's what I went, parked a couple of streets away, and we walked it only because we didn't want to get stuck in the traffic.
There is something fun about the traffic, though.
One thing I've thought about the traffic since being back is, so when we were away, we didn't know how far somewhere was in LA to drive, so we'd put it into the maps and it'd dish up the time, 55 minutes, and then you just stick to that. You're like, if it's over, it is.
Yeah.
But like when you're back home and you know the route in your head, and then
you know the range,
and so then you're like, I don't know, there's some more high level of anxiousness in me when I'm home driving in traffic, because over there it's like, we've just got to get, this is how long it takes. Whereas here you're like, nah, I can get it quicker. I can go down this back street. Oh, fuck, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, the last week or at the end of the week you went to the doctors to get you were talking about the 10 free sessions or whatever.
Yeah, so in Australia you can get subsidised mental health sessions, so through a psychologist. Not all places offer it. It's like the bulk billing stuff. Not all doctors offer bulk
interesting.
billing. So there's like some of them you get X amount of rebate. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a process. A bunch of questions. Like I could feel it's like Mr. 97, you said someone you know went and got rejected
At the GP, yeah.
at the GP.
Yeah, they applied for one, and spoke to their GP about it, but the GP's like, no, you don't need it.
I mean, so the way it works is you're feeling a bit down. I recognise I want to see a psychologist. I recognise that I don't want to pay full price.
What is it called? The mental health scheme or plan?
Mental health plan.
Yeah.
Through Medicare. They subsidise. So I went, I wanted to get my throat checked and then I dropped on him.
Is it almost like, is this the equivalent?
What's that?
Is this the equivalent of like you go to the shops and you're buying some condoms and so you add some milk as well? Like, did you really have something with your throat?
Amy, my wife, had tonsillitis and I wanted to see if my throat there's any indication because I can't have that shit. She hasn't been able to talk properly.
You're like,
it's been that bad.
so how's my throat? It's like, oh, it looks fine. Well, could it make me depressed?
No. I was and then tried to get some painkillers out of him.
Bullshit.
Some ones that you can't get over the counter now. For Amy, she couldn't sleep. It was like keeping her up at night. So I couldn't get those. And then I
Wait, did you so you asked him, hey,
I said, can you, like, my wife can't sleep at the moment. And I tried to it's like Masindol used to be over the counter. It's got codeine in it. They've pulled it off the shelves in Australia.
Yeah.
So it's behind the counter now, subscription. Anyway, I couldn't get that.
Subscription.
Not a
Subscription.
A prescription.
I mean, the dark web, you could probably get a subscription of painkillers. Not a sarsaparilla?
Wait, so did you actually
So I
were you going to at the start, if your throat looked inflamed, were you going to say, can I have painkillers for me? Because they would never give it to someone who wasn't there.
You could go to the doctor and it depends on the severity of it, I think. You can't you're not going to get endo and hard painkillers if it's not you, but maybe you could get a Moxil. This is like a Moxilin or whatever it is, like a basic, what do you call it? Antibiotic that they give out. It's like, you could probably get that.
And so you said my wife, she hasn't been sleeping that well.
He didn't give a shit about. He's like, what? Nah, just use Panadol and Nurofen. Like you can use both. It's a combo. Anyway, it's all good. But then I did say the mental health stuff, and so he then said, okay, I've got to run you through. I'll ask you some questions, and there's a scale of not at all, sometimes, more than sometimes, a lot, or something like that. Some kind of like range scale. And so some of the questions are pretty intense.
Good job going, because it takes fucking
it's a weird conversation to have. I mean, it was a man. So like it could be my dad that age, 60, 65. It was sweet. He was a lovely guy and he was gentle about it and just asking. There wasn't too much judgment in it. But then he said, look, because I'd booked in at a late time slot. He's like, we probably need another 15 minutes to do this. I can't do it tonight. Can you come back on Thursday? In the meantime, can you find a psychologist that you would like me to write the referral for? And then when you come back in, we can do the full debrief and then I can write the thing for you. So at that point, I had in my mind, I'm not going to get this. Like, I was giving myself, a pat in the back. No, I'm all good, but it's like, no, I wanted it. That's why I think it's disgusting that your mate didn't get it. Yeah. Because he's acknowledged that he has some kind of mental health.
Did you enter and say, hey, like I think I need to go see a psychologist?
Well, they say why, what's going on. You say
but so is that what you started with?
Yeah, I said I wanted to have the referral for the mental health thing. I see it's fumbled through it. I don't know what it is. He knows that you want the rebate, don't you, kid? And I was like, yeah, definitely. He was a nice guy because the other night he said, because we were talking about like just the way it's all right, the checks and balances, they get audited by Medicare. Like doctors are now getting audited by Medicare. It's government money essentially that they're giving out. And he said, This is why I liked him. He said, "Oh, the Medicare bullshit." He used that phrase, Medicare bullshit. He said, "Come if you do your first 6 sessions, and then you want to come back and see me and tell me how it's going, and you can go through that Medicare bullshit, and we'll get another 6 or 4 or whatever."
And so did the Medicare bullshit allowed us all to get our testosterone tested for a silly show.
The bullshit's
real.
I appreciate the bullshit.
From one bullshitter to another, we appreciate you.
Yeah, bullshitters appreciate bullshit. But you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's a funny one when people say that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, don't bullshit a bullshitter. It's like, what have you done? You know what I mean? What are you're like fraud? What are we talking? High level, low level? What have you ripped off?
Cal Sinclair from the Sydney Football Club, he said it on his podcast.
Can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Can't bullshit a bullshitter. His mate said, why didn't you get back to me on the text? And then he said, no, I checked my phone and I hadn't pressed send on the message. So
Classic.
it was like 12 hours later. And the only reason I checked my phone was because I thought you hadn't got back to me. And Callum said, mate, don't bullshit a bullshitter. I've used that excuse before. I thought it was a perfect example of that saying.
Yeah. I was waiting for a friend to text back and I'd seen that they had done an Insta story.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, they've clearly seen it unless they're running 2 phones, which is my dream.
Emmy Lou.
Yeah, it wasn't Emmy Lou.
These are micro lies.
Aggressions, yes.
Not aggressions. It's not aggressive to not respond. It's aggressive to send flipping the bird, finger up.
Sure.
But
what was that, No 7?
Just my keys.
What
Are you ready to go home? You don't even drive.
I was just putting them back on the office keys, mate.
Okay.
Just putting them on the
You
desk.
only have one office key.
Yeah.
Do you think you've tamed the lying beast? Like I think we all have that sort of white lie trait within us. A lot of people do, just little stuff to hide something, or I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting reason why we lie at times, even on an email or in business. Do you think you've tamed it, or you've got better at using it, or what's your vibe on it?
No, I mean, when I was younger, I'd definitely lie more just on things like, I'm working on this thing, but I hadn't started. The
thing that they used to say, I remember hearing it, like smart kids, intelligent people lie when they're young.
Yeah.
No, you're just a little fucking shit.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think, I mean, there's some things that you do so that you don't hurt people's feelings because you feel like you need to address it. But also there's people too that you have a good enough relationship with that knows you to be like, nah, I'm just being shit. Sorry, I didn't get back to you.
Yeah, and so you lean into the honesty of it. But I mean, it could even be how you doing.
Like you've
and
got
you're
certain,
like, nah. So you're like, I'm good.
Yeah,
but you're not good. So you've placed the truth over here and just put it something, not
else.
Offensive or just something neutral thing.
Have you found a psychologist,
mate?
It's going to be the best.
The conversation that we've had with multiple people, you've asked the question of how do you find one? I think I've pulled off the table any thought about who they are and what if they're any good. Qualified have to be. They need doctor at the front of their name. They need a doctorate in psychology. There's a place.
You're not going to go see a veterinarian.
No. They could help me. I don't know.
No.
Can they give me the meds that I wanted?
What is he?
I don't know.
The thing with the shell on it?
Armadillo. An armadillo.
Yeah, so I need someone who can crack Michelle.
Yeah.
Sound
like you said crack Michelle.
Yeah, no, it did, didn't it? But literally, almost a stone throw away from my house is a psychology
Oh, that's convenient.
clinic. It's just like this little shop front. I looked online. It seemed sweet. I was like, great. And so I'm going to go there.
So it's interesting when those types of businesses have a shop front.
Well, I think the rent would be low in the area. It's like a PT studio. It's very much the same vibe. It's like they could be houses. They could be, you could live in one, but it's a little shop front. So
I can imagine you going to see a guy. You want to see a dude?
Oh, I think it's a woman.
Okay.
I'm happy to see either.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'm talking about, I'm not fussed. I don't think I need some man to be able to relate. Like I don't need, it's like, bro, to have your fucking hard armadillo shell. Like I don't care about that.
Do you think that you've evolved in that way, or do you think that you would have previously?
My only thought is, a female doctor checking my genitals. Like I'm not.
The
That's
psychologist won't do that. I don't know.
fucking. I'm in the wrong place. I've gone to a Matt Diavella style massage parlor, if that's the case. But no, so for that stuff, to be honest, I think there's a softness and a warmth that I think females put off. That is, think about your mum, right? For me, mum's someone who I can have an emotional conversation with. Dad, I definitely can, but it's a different conversation. And so I think I gravitate towards women for emotional support more so. I mean, my wife, but I think I think I would be more comfortable is probably the word. I don't actually have women in my life that I'm seeking, emotional support from. Yeah. But it's an interesting one. Like, I mean, there's a bit of admin in front of you, dude, if you want to go down this road. But I think it's a good starting point.
And so have you booked in the first one? Or?
No, I haven't. I've just got the letter. And so
You've got to go back to the GP, right?
No, I've been to the GP.
Oh, but you said
No.
you have to come back
did
to
both.
I've done the second visit.
one.
Yeah.
And so because when Brie has her psychologist appointment, she sort of does a debrief, talked about this, talked about that.
With you?
Yeah.
Because you ask her.
No. She just she's just like, oh yeah, no, we talked about this. She had great perspective on this and that.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're going to be the type to talk about your experience?
I don't know. I mean, yes.
You talk a lot about you meditating, more than you meditate, probably.
No, I reckon I've meditated way more than I've talked about it. Think about
how much you meditate a day? 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes a day, almost for a year straight.
Yeah, he doesn't talk 10 minutes a day.
3,650 minutes. Like I've done over 3,000 minutes easily of meditation. I haven't talked about meditation for 3,000
I don't know if we brought it up on Otter. I mean, there's been a lot of talk.
A lot of times, but definitely not that many minutes.
And so do you think you would be the type to, so if you get home, Amy's like, oh, how you going? It's like, oh, good.
Well, I think one of the things I want to work on is communicating the shit that I'm feeling, which is not, I don't think, a natural thing for me. Like as in I communicate every single day and we have this podcast, but sometimes I feel like it's fucking easier not to. Yeah. And there's the problem, right? Yeah. That answer is the problem.
There is something that's like, I just can't be bothered. Yeah,
I can't be going into it.
Well, I guess you can sometimes feel like, I feel like I've talked about this enough. Or I've thought about this and I don't know what externalizing it's going to do.
Yeah. Which is then when you're in a relationship, that's probably not necessarily the right approach based on other people needing to process shit too. And that's where I think maybe it's a male trait of like, no, I'm sorting this shit out. So it's like, don't you worry about it. I'm getting through it. But I think that's the trap of thinking you can do it all by yourself.
I guess part of it might be people wonder what if you are problem solving or solutions focused, is this conversation going to provide a better solution or is it going to just create more anxiety?
Yeah. So you're like, unless this conversation leads to some sort of new fucking thing, I don't want to have it. Which sometimes the talking bit is the point. It is the solution. It's just the talking. It's airing shit off your chest. Like anything you're keeping in, Sevs? Like anything, you don't have to actually say it, but is there anything you're feeling at the moment? Like you actually have identified? It's like, I don't fucking talk about that. Or I don't want to talk about it.
No, I've sort of just I haven't been to the gym and all that stuff in a while. So I've been thinking about that and feeling a bit down about not going there. I think that was like a release for me, going to the gym and being in the sauna and stuff. And so not having that since coming back from the US or whatever, it's been weird. Like just I haven't had that outlet to be able to just, get rid of stuff. But no, I don't think I've been holding much. I talk pretty openly, but yeah, I mean,
who should go to? Like, I think relationship, having a partner, like, it is you kind of just get in a pattern of talking about shit. Hopefully, I think a lot of people do. It's like your rock, right?
Yeah.
When I was single, I didn't really have the rock. I spoke to my mum probably more than I do now. But what's it for you? Is it your dog?
Varies between mum and probably Andre.
Coconut Crew.
Yeah.
Fuck it. How good's that?
What's Andre spinning? What is he telling you to do? Just quit your job.
Advice monster or no?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's hard. Like if you don't have that person in your life that you can chat through with stuff like, you can listen also. So you can listen to content that can give you tools and tips to handle and sort of get, but it's, I don't know what's a release. Like it is, the gym thing is like an action that actually creates some visceral response and change in your body. The talking thing is an action that can change something about your situation.
What's like the quote, you can't outthink overthinking.
But you've tried.
Yeah, you can't outthink your thoughts. Yeah, I think that's, yes, I think like talking to people makes a difference. I think there's also comfort in if you are feeling stressed. I feel like sometimes I just want to know that other people are also stressing about the same thing.
So it's like an empathy thing.
It's a shared experience. It's like if you're feeling like I'm stressed about this thing, to know that you know what, there's other people who are also thinking about it. Just to take off some of that load, then it means that you don't have to think as much, or potentially just living just through time, you're actually problem solving because it's a shared thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, generations of people that haven't opened up at all, like they blow up.
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to avoid that? Has writing helped with you, 97?
Yeah, definitely. Like it gets all the overwhelm out of your head. Just being able to put something. It doesn't even matter what it is, right? Like you put down like dumb stuff, like not having
down.
Well, I write down like not having ingredients for a smoothie in the morning. Like
baby upset.
Yeah, baby's upset he doesn't have his banana for his smoothie.
Well, especially when you've got your
that's the worst
because there's no
when
sweetness.
You rely on that.
Or the worst one is no milk.
Almond milk's the base. Is it almond milk?
No. I'm just
oat.
No, full cream at the moment.
Full cream dairy,
right.
Like sort of animal cruelty style. Okay, animal cruelty style. That's funny.
I've milked a cow. It's all good.
Stop bragging. But you got a new blender.
Yeah.
What's the brand?
It's an Optimum 9200A.
What's the B one?
The B, I don't know what the B is, but there's a 9400.
And you got the 200?
I got the 200.
RPMs or what is it?
I don't know what it is.
Price difference between 200 and 400. What was it?
$200.
So yours
what are you
is
getting
less?
for that extra 200?
I don't know. Just more. I think more power, more blitzing power. But this one, it's got plenty of power. It's ridiculous.
So what are you making?
It's my normal smoothies.
Okay.
But it's great because like the NutriBullet or whatever, it did like an all right blitz on it. You'd still have like lumps and stuff in it.
No.
But this one is like a proper like boost juice. Like it's proper smooth.
Have you thought about working out what one the Boost Juice stores use?
They've probably got a deal. The other
they're buying in bulk.
Yeah.
The supply chain's
it's
dialed
probably,
in.
Yeah, but sure, but that shouldn't be a barrier.
No, mate, he's not doing the scale.
The other thing is that their ones would cost like $1,000 per thing.
And what did you pay?
400.
Yeah, I mean even one of the the
Vitamix.
They're like 880 or something.
Yeah. That was so. This one's like apparent like it's meant to be a cheap alternative to a Vitamix.
Oh yeah, you've gone there.
But it's got 6 years warranty, so
that's fine.
It should be
Where
fine.
is the brand from?
Australian company.
Oh, that's good.
Made in China though.
Did you see the? You've looked into that as well.
Well, they've got it all over their website. So
really, why?
I don't know, just promoting
China.
No, Aussie.
Oh no, I meant you said it was made in China. I said, how do you know? And you're like, they're promoting it everywhere.
No, because I was reading the reviews or whatever, and it says like Aussie company, but made in China.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of fine. Are you going to? Do you think? I mean, you mentioned it. You said next year it's either mental health stuff
or laser hair removal on my neck. I've had like 3 people ask about that, by the way.
The laser hair thing. Are you going to do it?
No, about the mental health thing. Both, I think Pete Shepherd and Scooter Derrick said they were like, "Oh, when you're right," because when you mentioned laser hair or going to see a psychologist, the guys really jumped in and were like, "Psychologist, yeah, go."
Oh yeah.
They probably
I heard a quote something recently. It was like something around like all the people.
Do you reckon you do quotes well?
No, not at all. I'm butchering the fuck out of it. But it was something about.
I mean, you butchered the one just before.
I know you butchered
What do you
them all the
mean?
time. This is the show.
What was
Everyone
my
butchers
one?
quotes.
What was? I mean, it's a rite of passage.
You said you can't outthink overthinking.
But then you redid
But then
it.
you
But
said,
I
no,
wanted a
you
second chance
can't
at it.
outthink thinking. You
You can't overthink thoughts.
Whatever.
Can you find out you can't overthink? Can you just write that in, see
I
what
thought
it
both.
is?
I got your point.
Yeah.
This is the whole
What
thing.
is it?
You don't.
You can't overthink? What was it? What's the
No, it's
Google?
not. No, it's
What does
not
Google
that.
tell?
I mean,
say?
the brilliant thing about speaking is just like you can
another
reference
go.
something. You can give it a crack and you get the gist of it. But it was
What
something
about
like
Ryan Nicodemus? Ryan did a whole bit which was about a guy who he told him,
in essence, he
Yeah.
was saying set a goal, reached it, but realized it wasn't the goal, and he took
guy
his own
killed
life.
himself.
Yeah,
and then Ryan messaged and was like, "Hey, bro, I got that completely wrong.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was Googling it, didn't feel good about
good
it. But
story.
yeah.
Like I think it's a understanding of like
Great message.
your goal necessarily isn't where you want you. It should shift. You arrive and
Yeah.
you're like, this
But the
isn't
guy
the thing.
who founded Polaroid died at 82.
Yeah, had a healthy life.
I think you might have made up that quote. I can't find anything.
No, but I get it. You can't
Maybe I did.
outthink your thinking.
Yeah.
Meaning
that makes sense.
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
What was
but
the quote that
the
you-
one something that in essence it's saying like the people who need psychology, all the people around them, go and get the psychology to deal with that.
Yeah.
person. So
Well, it's
I
a
get-
Ryan Shelton. That's what Ryan Shelton said.
what was he saying?
He literally said he was saying that he was going to the psychologist. What is that noise, 97? Is that coming from the...
Your phone into the
No, it must be
speaker?
his, I reckon. Ryan Shelton was talking about that
Yeah. So like-
on the show. He was saying that he wanted to understand how other people were thinking within his life, and that was part of the reason, the catalyst for going.
Yeah. I was more drawing the connection that all the people around you are getting psychology work and you're not.
Oh yeah, no, well, I think no, but see, that's funny because I reckon
No, yeah.
that's you hiding from your own.
I didn't say that. I said
not
the
just say
quote.
that?
No, but I was saying a quote that was.
Yeah. But I think that there is that like there's so much stigma around it that you could say
Yeah.
I'm doing this because of someone
trust me,
else.
It's not. I don't fucking do it because at all. It's like I need to do it.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I actually think that you have the stigma attached to the mental health stuff. Like
To me, it's purely admin. It's
but I
purely
think
like I
there's
don't
a-
go
there's
to
a-
I don't go
Yeah.
to the podiatrist. I don't do any of those things. I'm not saying I don't go to the gym. I
But
mean,
if
this
it was
is not.
if it
this
was
is
framed as like a valuable thing, I don't know. I think if it, just with how much you talk about it and then you don't do it, it's like
well. I think no. To be honest,
because it sounds like you want to.
it's something that over time, I think that it will be something that I want to explore. But I feel like it's one of those things where there's heaps. If you have a spectrum of things that you can do, it's the stuff around whether it be meditating or walking and for me, it's the walk. Like the value that I get is through walking with people who I'm close with, who I can talk with, and so that. But definitely, it's one of those things that's like, I mean, why do people go? Like most people would probably go to the psychologist based on a crucible moment or something that happens that triggers like, hang on, I want to, whether it be through self-development, like I want to develop myself more, or I don't know how to handle this specific thing. And so like, I guess I'm thinking.
Which I think it is changing in some respects. Like
Yeah,
when
it's
things are getting more,
preventative.
things are getting more mainstream. Or I think when there's less stigma towards something, it
I think
maybe starts
also,
to.
I think I'm a rebel as well. So I think people telling every time that's like you saying, I think that's something you want to do.
No, just from talking. Like, I don't know why you'd ask a question like when someone talks about them going, what you get so curious. It
Well, because
just
I find that
could make on the other side.
So I find it interesting around. So I think that there's a lot of time that's got to be spent in the admin of doing
100%.
it. And so I'm like, okay, my stresses is overwhelm based on having too much shit that I need to do, right? And so the idea of doing another thing to me
Yeah, I mean, you got to see that it
You gotta
is
see the
going to bring
value.
enough value. It's like, yeah.
And
going
so
to the gym when you
sometimes-
fucking can't be bothered, but it's like the thought that it will make you feel better is the reason you.
It's also
go.
a person. I guess the thing is, it's a personal. What is the essence? Like, what are we specifically? What's the prescription? Like, if you were to take a specific thing and prescribe it to everyone, it is talk to someone.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's what I've done. You know, every week for the past year, I go hang out with my mate. We go for a walk. We talk, and I feel so good after it.
Oh, 100%. This is why I think a lot of guys like going to the gym with other men. It's like just women like going to the gym too, but I think it is it's this thing where you get to just hooker hugger, hang around a mate and just talk shit, and it feels good. I don't do enough of that.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Like, I've been getting that. So I guess
you're also hanging out with one of the great coaches in Melbourne, Pete Shepherd.
Yes, and but I guess it's one of those things of like you have a friendship and you happen to help each other, but it's not like I'm like, coach me, Pete.
No, it's a positive. You hang around people that lift you up, and you hope you can do the same.
And so I think it's like you got to be doing something.
Yeah.
What's the thing in 2020 that you want to implement or do?
I mean, it's little things. I think what's worked great for me this year is consistency of a few little things, which have meant taking off the table some things. Like there's definitely something in the rules, sticking to something for time and giving it a good crack to be able to analyse what did it work for me, didn't it, alcohol, a bunch of other stuff. So I don't quite know what it is, but I'm up for the challenge. I think, picking a word is something I really want to do again. This year was consistency. And so I want to pick something else. And I don't know what that something else is yet.
Balance, maybe?
Balance would be good. That is a good word. Because
you can interpret it in different ways because you've been extremely consistent with one or two things. Like you've done some things really, really well, but then obviously balance.
Oh yeah. I wrote a list. It's like there was which I think I'll do a post at some point in December. Just to some of the things, a bit of accountability. Yeah, it's definitely around the connecting with friends more. It's around adventures with Bodie, date nights with my wife. It sounds like very specific, isn't it? Yeah. But these are some of the things that I think you're right. You focus on a few things, but maybe that's freed up time to be able to think about some other priorities.
Yeah,
it's a long journey. It's good.
You thinking 97 about what you want your implementation to be for 2020?
Yeah, there's probably more of a focus on friendships and catching up with people. I haven't really done that much. Like one thing, like coming back from the US, it was great catching up with people, and I've never really done that. So I'd like to do that. And then I haven't gotten the practice of meditation down, the consistency of doing it all the time. So I'd like to do that as well.
Yeah, great. I think for me, it's like the getting up as soon as I wake up in the morning.
Out of bed, fresh. Yeah.
Because I spend like an hour sometimes, just like, but like I'll get up at 6, like because I'll wake up at 6 and then I'll be in bed till 7. I'm doing email, I'm doing all that sort of shit. But it's like if I was just to actually get out, even have a shower and do all that stuff, I feel like I could. But also the other thing too is the days where I'm doing the walk, like my walk, that's like super productive. And so it's like, what if I actually did a 2-hour walk every morning, 6 till 8?
How much easier is it when you got that person to show up to? I found with the gym myself, it's like I just scrape it through at that, when I'm by myself. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, 1 minute to go. This 97's wrapping us up.
Okay, it's a Daily Talk Show. Hi at thedailytalkshow.com is the email address. We got any emails?
We got an email from Ben. Gronks, welcome back home and congrats on the monumental series of podcasts from LA.
22, baby. 21.
22 episodes.
Oh, we got a guest here quickly. We got a friend coming to the studio.
We'll keep for Ben's email for Monday.
Yeah.
It's a Daily Talk Show. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Sorry, Ben. We'll get to it tomorrow. Love you.